The Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas spoke to Israeli journalists this evening, revealing there was talk of him meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu over the last 2 months without U.S. mediation. Abbas claims the Israeli premier refused. It comes amid a push by the Palestinian Authority to advance a resolution in the UN Security Council that will declare Israeli settlements in the West Bank illegal under international law. Eli Hoechenberg has more.
Only 3 days after the EU approved a resolution underlining the illegal status of Israeli settlements, the UN is adding some more pressure on Jerusalem. In light of reports on the Israeli government's intention to appropriate lands in the West Bank near Jericho, United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon released a condemnation, saying he is, quote, deeply concerned by the potential move. Settlement activities are a violation of international law and run counter to the public pronouncements of the government of Israel supporting a two-state solution to the conflict. Washington also reacted unhappily to the reports a short time after saying it also does not view European labeling of settlement products as a boycott.
I feel as though I sound like a broken record, but we strongly oppose any steps that could accelerate settlement expansion, and we believe they're fundamentally incompatible with a two-state solution and call into question, frankly, the Israeli government's commitment to a two-state solution.
Backed with this positive momentum, the Palestinian Authority, meanwhile, is attempting to promote a resolution at the UN Security Council to define West Bank settlements as illegal.
I think we should go to the Security Council with a resolution only and solely for the colonial settlement enterprise. We ask you to stop settlements. You ask them to stop settlement. They're not listening to you. They're not listening to Obama. They're not listening to Kerry. They're not listening to Merkel. They're not listening to anyone.
With condemnations, resolutions, and initiatives rapidly piling up, it seems that soon Israel will have no other choice but to present a proactive approach in regard to solving the conflict, or else diplomatic isolation becomes a fact on the ground.
Yes, and joining me and Eli Hoechenberg in the studio now is Ashraf Al-Ajrami, former Palestinian minister. Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, Mr. Al-Ajrami, how secure can the Palestinian Authority be that the UN Security Council would even consider this resolution? It's a very explosive resolution, to say the least.
I think the Palestinian Authority is secure enough to go ahead with what they do now, because the situation is, especially the stability of the Palestinian Authority, is needed by the world. So I think the Israeli Authority must respond positively to the demands from the international community, from the European Union, from the United States of America, to stop the confiscation of the lands and the building of the settlements. It is somehow endanger the peace process, endanger the solution of two states if the Israeli government continues its policy to build everywhere and to confiscation of the land, the Palestinian territories in the Jordanian Valley and the heights of the West Bank, and on all settlements separated everywhere. I think there is no chance to have a solution of two states, especially establishing a Palestinian independent state, 1967 borders, especially to have some kind of a viable Palestinian state.
And Ali, Mr. Al-Ajrami mentions the Israeli establishment and the Israeli government. How is the Israeli government likely to respond to this move by the Palestinian Authority?
Well, Israel is always highly against any unilateral moves by the Palestinian Authority, but it seems, that the rope is getting tighter no matter how much Jerusalem is willing to acknowledge. We see this EU decision to differentiate between West Bank settlements and Israel. We see the United States supporting not saying that the labeling decision of the European Union statement from months ago is a boycott. And only today, the Chinese President Xi Jinping, visiting the Middle East, called for the establishment of a Palestinian state. So I really don't see any maneuverability for Israel unless taking proactive steps towards coming back to the negotiating table. And Netanyahu was in Davos, as mentioned, and he was asked about this latest disputed matter. Let's hear what he had to say. And he also said a few words about their renewing ties with Turkey.
It's a land survey. It's one of many. It's routine, and I think it's not the issue. There's been no decision on what to do with this land, but there is a decision that I've made to negotiate peace with the Palestinian Authority if they deem to do so. I have an open call for them to start the negotiations, because that's how we're going to get to peace.
How is the process going with Turkey to normalize relations?
We're talking to them, and they're talking to us. And if we succeed, it'll be good for both countries.
Are you hopeful? Thank you very much.
We are always hopeful.
Sir, can I ask you?
Yes, Mr. Al-Ajrami, the Palestinian Authority is, of course, always also trying to acquire recognition for a Palestinian state internationally. But doesn't it already count on the U.S. vetoing this new resolution?
Yes, but we are in a situation that United States of America not so patient of the Israeli steps on the ground. So we can reach a situation that the Americans don't use the veto, that they can pass a resolution in the United Nations Security Council.
Yes.
And I think now the European Union and the whole international community.
Yes, we will keep following this. Ashraf Al-Ajrami and Eli Hochenberg, thank you very much.